Again, we can't start the show officially without our recitation. Please welcome to the stage for our recitation, young brother, young warrior, Abdul Tawad Abdullah. Come on out, brother.
Assalamualaikum. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدعو اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون. Alright, for the English transliteration. Have you seen the one who denies the judgment day? For that is the one who drives away the orphan and does not encourage the feeding of the poor. So woe to those who pray, but who are heedless of their prayer. Those who make show of their deeds and withhold simple assistance. That's all. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Give that brother another hand. He got good memory. I can't remember where I parked my car. So we're going to keep the program rolling, and we have a chain of command, as always at our Muslim institutions. We want to have an introduction of a board of directors. We're going to have our board chair, Sister Sophia Ricks, come to the stage. Give her a hand, everybody.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Masjid At-Tawhid, I would like to recognize my fellow board members who may be present and ask them to stand. Attorney John T. Floyd, Vice Chair. Ramona Hassan, Treasurer. Dr. Saeed Yusuf, Chair, Secretary. Dr. Amin Kareem, previous board chair. Dr. Arsalan Tajjamal, and Brother Noordeen Abdul Latif. And Attorney Jamal Asafi. At this time, it is my honor to present Masjid At-Tawhid's official staff and management. I would ask them to step forward at this time.
And for those who aren't here, we're sending truancy officers to the house. Okay, so let's go down the line here. Special assistant to Imam Qasim Khan, Imam Salim Omar. Chief of Sutra Security, Muhammad Abdullah. Right. Assistant Chief of Sutra Security, Dion Abdul Rahman Spencer. Lieutenant of Sutra Security, Hussein Khan. Sister, you just got out here, didn't you? It's all right. Outreach and Development Director, Sophia Ricks. Supervisor of Facilities and Fleet Manager, Noordeen Abdul Latif. Assistant Supervisor of Facilities Management, Muhammad Abdullah. All right. Information Technology and Website Management, Malik Alameen. Food and Commodities Distribution Coordinator, Hussein Khan. You're supposed to come out further. 2 steps further. Okay. Assistant Distribution Managers, Rahildi Tahara and Anissa Bailey. MAT Health and Wellness Clinic Director, Sakina Abdul-Jabbar. Okay. MAT Clinic Assistant Directors, Hanifa Brown and Hadisa Plummer. At-Tawhid Youth Movement Directors, Tariq Omar. Youth Assistant Directors, Baker Ibrahim and Abdul Hakim Nziyama. Muslim Women's Center Managing Director, Hussein Khan. After 3 times, you're supposed to finish all the announcements. Muslim Women's Center Assistant Manager, Dr. Shanaz Karim. So we want to give everybody a round of applause together. I felt like this was like a halal football game. And the MAT Clinical Wellness Director. We appreciate everything you do, man. Allah continue to bless you and increase you in this life and the next. Let's welcome everybody. Give them another hand, please. So next up, this man needs no introduction because he didn't give me one. It was funny out there. I'm just kidding. I don't know if people really know how long Imam Qasim and I go back. I mean, we go way, way back. And as a big brother, friend, advisor, we've been through a lot of things together, separately. And he's always given me sound guidance. But we've always had the blessing of being able to share life together. So I know it's not with me. I'm sure he's done it with you a lot of times. And as a comedian, every once in a while he tries to be funnier than me. It doesn't work out well. But what I admire with him is, you know, you ever have somebody talk about something they want to do and you nod like, yeah, that's going to happen. Sure. This guy has one of the most incredible work ethics. Because if you ever saw Masjid At-Tawhid before it was Masjid At-Tawhid, you'd be surprised. If it was Masjid At-Tawhid at that fundraiser, you would have thought it'd be a Masjid At-Tawhid. But he saw it through. And I remember at that fundraiser, you know, because I love my brother, but I had to walk up, I was like, whew, that was a rough one. And he laughed and he said, yeah. He said, but it's going to get better. He said, there'll be other fundraisers. And he said, Allah about one person here. And I was like, who? He was like, us. These people. And he had the fundraising, we have food, and his fundraising is something that's spiritual, is transformational. Because he reminds all of us when he asks that we could be a little bit better for one another. Forget about the money. Being better for one another, just, you know, in the midst of everything that's going out here. So he's not, you know, he has his cane, he has his kufi, you know, he doesn't have halal cake. I would call him Super Qasim, the first of the Muslim Avengers, right? But on a serious note, you're looking at a classic, old school. When I say old school, I mean old school. He came up, you know, through the tradition, through the first, the second. You know, we laugh about things. He called and said, you on post? I said, yeah, I'm on post. His book was, you know, Journal Order number 5. And I read it. I've been in both his books. But what I remember is this. When the chips are down, there's one person you could call. And I say the one person you call because he never sees the chips down. He sees opportunities to do different things. So this whole thing right here, wait for another year. This whole place will be filled. Please welcome, get on your feet, welcome my brother and yours, Imam Qasim Ibn Ali Khan.
Assalamu alaikum. I tried to be brave and come out here without my cane. But there's no point in showing off because my wife is going to complain. Oh, did that rhyme? Yeah. So just to make sure that I introduce this properly, I don't want to fall, so I need my cane. Brother, hand me down my walking cane. Brother, hand Let down my walking cane, hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna take me a stroll down memory lane. So you're here to take a visual stroll down memory lane, the memory lane of this amazing virtual visual tour of the amazing mission of Masjid At-Tawhid. Sit back, relax, enjoy your popcorn. Lights, camera, action.
Looking up at the sky, searching for Allah Most High. He rejected the way of worshipping gods of clay. Prophet Ibrahim knew that Allah was near, and that the heart of a Muslim is sincere. Under the hot burning sun, he declared God is one.
حي على الفلاح.
Masjid At-Tawhid, on the cusp of Kashmir Gardens and Trinity Gardens in the 5th Ward. It's not just a mosque. It's a food pantry, women's sanctuary, a clinic, a safe space for this community.
I am Qasim, the son of Ali Khan. Alhamdulillah, this is my wife, Hussaina. And actually, we've been working together since before we met. When I met her, she was a ball of energy in a Muslim-owned restaurant. And then eventually I was hired there. We got married in the restaurant, and kept working there. And so everywhere we traveled around the country, we were always working together. A new masjid had just got built. Masjid At-Tawhid Muhammad had just got built. Well, when I came, I realized how much potential it was for work around the Houston area. At the time, I was the event coordinator and national fundraiser for an organization called Muslim Alliance in North America, and I was flying all over the country raising funds and so forth and motivational talks. But when I saw the potential in Houston, how much work could be done here without traveling, then I contacted the emir of the organization, Imam Siraj Wahaj, and I told him, I said, if I relocate to Houston, I can get a lot of work done without even getting on a plane, because there's a lot of potential in Houston. So after about 1.5 years of here, that's when we found this property.
Initially founded as a school for refugees, Imam of the mosque, Qasim Khan, and his wife, Hussaina, say Tawhid used to be a church.
This is the 5th Ward area, and in fact, even though the politicians had divided it up, 5th Ward, Kashmir Gardens, Trinity Gardens, and all of that, but we wanted to have a good alternative school for the refugee children that was coming from Africa, the Somalian children from Kenya. I just became the imam by default because we saw it was a good opportunity to put a masjid here as well. But when we were making our preparations to open it, what happened when the carpet was being delivered, it was delivered on a big truck, and the truck got stuck on the island trying to get out of the parking lot. And so it blocked traffic for 3 or 4 hours. And so people were getting curious, and they were coming asking, what's happened? What's this going to be? So I said, it's going to be an Islamic center. And they said, well, we hope so, because we're the forgotten people. This is what they were telling us. And so I said, no, we love you and we care. And when I said that spontaneously, it became our slogan. But when we first opened, we began to deliver hot meals just out of the trunk of her car, 30 or 40 hot meals. And then when it began to grow and we began to get some non-perishables, we took one of the closets and we called that a pantry. Well, as it began to grow and grow, with the service, we began to find out that there's more and more, thousands and thousands of people that really needed some attention, And so that's how that became our mission. And she had become by default the supervisor and the general manager of the community services.
You know, I see the appreciation of the people, and they're really happy we're here. They're thanking us, and I'm glad that they're, coming because we want to give them what they need. Right. So we're gonna just keep rolling.
Sound rolling.
When we first started here, it was like a combined thing. We had like 45 to 50, sometimes more refugee kids, and I knew that they needed to eat and they need clothing, and they also needed health and transportation. So we would take rent trucks, U-Haul trucks. We didn't know where the money was coming from, but it would come. We had to pay for mileage. But I reach out to all the Muslims. There's Muslims that come all over the world, like in and out of here. I tell them, look, don't give your furniture away for people that have to pay. Let me have it to give people who need. So I started off making connection with families, outreach with them. Look, we give to the community, not just Muslims. We think about everybody. I have people that need, they're sleeping on floors, but I want nice stuff. I want stuff like we want. I don't want to give them their garbage. I'm not here to clean out your house. I was able to make more connections. The phone just started ringing. My name got out there, passed out cards, so people would connect. A lady moved and gave me a whole house, five bedrooms, but 5 house full of furniture.
Today, they have their distribution process boiled down to a science, with coordinated vans, volunteers, and a security force. But Qasim and Hussaina say their upbringings prepared them for this moment.
In my household, I was Christian, and my family actually practiced 3 separate denominations of Christianity simultaneously. My family liked the lessons in the Methodist Church, the singing, the entertainment in the Baptist Church. And then we practiced Jehovah's Witness because we like knocking on people's doors, irritating people. I was involved in gang life, drugs and so forth, and I wasn't finding it. When I was introduced to Islam, it was a diluted version of Islam. It was called the Nation of Islam. But when I was introduced to that, it did give me the incentive to increase my morality and my God consciousness, and that's what attracted me to it.
I was not born Muslim, I was born Christian. I'm from a family of 22, and I'm the 3rd person from the bottom. I heard Islam in my early teens, not realizing that I did have Muslims in my family. I never heard of Muslims before. And then my brother went in Vietnam, and he came out as a Christian, he came out as a Muslim, and that was the start of my life. Coming up in my life, struggling all my life with my mother having the amount of children we have. She didn't have the whole 22, but half was half. We all grew up together, we struggled all our life. Community was part of our family. And this is what I feel as a Muslim, is we have to have, we always say it takes a village to raise. And when I see people out here that need food, I know what it takes to make ends meet. We make sure we have the basic, beans, flour, sugar, oil. You can make meals out of that, So this is what I think about when I see the people on the street. I want to give them something, and I have my ears open, and I'll go to them. I don't mean no harm, but if you need some food, we can get you some food, And this is how I've always been.
We just brought the land next door. We're going to be expanding to have a full-scale warehouse, because of the services growing. But we need more help, though. By help, I'm not just talking about finances. Of course, we need finances, but we need to find more, especially the Muslims. But we work close with the Christian community as well. We work with the other churches that are giving out food and so forth. We work with the politicians, Councilwoman Tarsha Jackson and Councilwoman Letitia Plummer and the mayor's office. We work with everybody to make sure that, because no matter how hard we try, we can't serve everybody. We're going to miss some people.
They aim to help all walks of life in the community, not just Muslims. People just like Dr. Brown, who say Qasim and Hussaina were at his door just after one phone call.
Back in 1974, and I'm walking down the street in the hood, and this lady said, let me draw it, let me do a portrait of you. And I told her, I said, no, I my hair, and she said, I'll make your hair okay. And so that was done in the 70s.
I'm Dr. Alexander Brown. I am a retired professor. I moved to Texas in 1982 to teach at Prairie View A&M University, and after 6 or 8 years at Prairie View, I came to the University of Houston. One of my former students, young man, came to my office when I was in the Academic Advising Center at the university, and he wanted to be a doctor, you know, but we looked at his grades and we looked at stuff, and I made a recommendation to him. I said, why don't you consider nutrition? And he chose, and he looked into it, and today he is the imam at the Wallace Dean Muhammad Mosque, and has a doctorate degree in clinical nutrition. And when I moved to this house, I called him and told him I'm moving it, changing neighborhoods, my phone number's the same, but this is where, and he said, oh, well, we've got a mosque not very close to you, and I'll let them know that you're here. And the next day, the very next day, Imam Khan came to my front door and just brought bags of food, you know, and it was really an emotional time for me because I had some issues along the way and I always had a place to stay, but I was never my home for a long time. And when I moved into this little house, I was so excited. I had no furniture, but they came and they brought food. And that was the beginning of and this was in the middle of the pandemic. This is like 4 years ago. The Imam and Sister Hasina have been like guardian angels for me. They have made sure that I'm all right. I get a call every now and then from them just to check on me. I get food from them at least once a month, and they've been doing this for the last 4 years. They are the epitome of helpers. Their mission is to take care of God's people, and they're doing an excellent job of it. I mean, sometimes a friend of mine and I, she'll pick me up and we'll go over on a Saturday when they're having mass giving away groceries, and the lines of people that you see and the smiles that they have when they come and they bring all of this food. And they're serious about it. I mean, you know, sometimes people say, oh yeah, we love you, and da-da. But they demonstrate it on a daily basis. The first Christmas I was here, they came and brought me $100 certificate for Walmart, a Walmart card for $100. And so I could buy a few things for the house and that sort of stuff. Listen, you're right, I'm not Muslim, I'm Baptist. I've been hanging with Jesus since I was 8 years old. I was baptized in the Baptist church in 1956. So as I look at it, if it were not for the extended time that I've been invested in the religion, in my Christian religion, I'd consider converting to be with them. But I am very much attuned to their principles, their love for humanity, their love for all of God's children. And I'm not one of them, but I am one of them, if that makes sense. They treat me like I'm one of them, and I'm grateful for that.
Masjid At-Tawhid's vision doesn't stop at food distribution. Hasina explains they are also a safe haven for women and children. The mosque's expansion includes plans for more of these services.
Our service at the Women's Center was to bond with the sisters, where we have a place where we can actually be to ourselves, take off our scarves, and enjoy ourselves, having halakha, which means groups of us sit around, all walks of life and knowledge of people to talk, to get to know one another. From there, we had classes set up for sewing classes, classes for our youth and our little kids. A lot of women would come off the street I would take them over. They ask me, "You have an ear? Can we talk?" You know, I let them come. And I have clothes. I let them go through the clothes. Sometimes women come out of the street, from out of town, Muslims, and don't have their hotel right away. I let them stay there. Number one, they build our closeness to the women. More women come. They come more often. They help. I don't have to say anything. They bring clothes. They know the needs of the community, the needs of this having this place. Number two, our youth. They feel safe. They're growing. We're able to hear them. They can have sleepovers when they want to. So it was beneficial for our children, not just mine, but other children. Even inviting people, say, "I can come." Yes, you can come, you know. And our gate is open for kids to come to learn how to do things and have good etiquette and manners. You can come in here, you ain't got to use foul language. You ain't got to fight. You can come and have a good time. This Women's Center brought that there. It's going to be more beneficial to the community to help more, to bring people in more where they actually can get some education. I might be able to help people get jobs by having a room where they can have activity, where they can do, someone can come and teach them how to do computer work.
A woman named Maria Rodriguez Lara came from Mexico and is one of many women who found a safe place at the mosque. After converting to Islam, she faced discrimination while looking for work. Her family also pushed back against her decision.
Conocí el Islam por Facebook.
¿Sí?
Ajá, y hice mi chajada con un hermano de Egipto por videollamada. Y como en mi rancho, en mi pueblo, en mi estado no hay musulmanes, todos son católicos, nada más yo me convertí en musulmana, entonces mi familia se opuso a todo y yo me salí de ahí, tengo 2 hijos y dejé mis niños con mis papás. Bueno, entonces yo ya después de Tijuana no encontré trabajo ni nada por el velo, porque no me daban trabajo, me discriminaron. Me regresé para mi rancho, pero ya me había resignado a ya quedarme en el rancho. Y entré como refugiada por racismo y discriminación y estoy en proceso de asilo. Y yo llegando, mi hermano vivía aquí cerquitas, como a 10 minutos. Y aquí fue la mezquita que nos quedaba más cerca y venimos aquí. Pero como yo no hablaba inglés, me mandaron con la de hispanos. Y allá fuimos, pero no encontramos. Y anduve así en varias mezquitas, pero no me aceptaban porque no hablaba inglés. Entonces vine otra vez aquí y ya le dije a la hermana Jasaina y a su esposo que con un traductor así nos entendemos, que no me habían aceptado porque no hablaba inglés. Y ya el Señor me dijo que ya no batallara, que aquí viniera, que como quiera, que si no entendía yo aquí estaba espiritualmente. Y ya empecé a venir aquí y aquí todos son bien buenos. Aquí estoy muy a gusto porque aquí todos me aceptan y no hablo inglés, pero todas tratan de entenderme. Yo les enseño palabras en español y ellas me enseñan en inglés. Y ya tengo tiempo viniendo aquí y ellas me tienen mucha paciencia, mucha paciencia. Pues, Jasaina, pues yo la quiero mucho porque es muy buena. Yo no tengo trabajo, lo que hago es tejer y vendo mis cositas y hago muñecas y blusas y todo eso tejido. Y la hermana Jasaina, pues yo no tengo carro ni nada y le mando mensaje cuando tengo que salir y ella me lleva a todas partes. Siento mucho cariño por ella como si fuera una madre para mí. No darnos por vencidos, que lo que diga la gente, que no les interese lo que digan otras personas, que lo que deben seguir es lo que les diga su corazón. Porque si yo hubiera escuchado a todas las personas que se pusieron en mi contra, pues yo me hubiera dado por vencida y estuviera allá en el rancho todavía y no hubiera salido. Y no tengo a mis niños, pero un día, si Dios quiere, van a estar conmigo.
Sophia Ricks says she also found meaning after finding Masjid At-Tawhid. Now she's the Director of Outreach and Community Relations.
Meeting them has filled a void in my life that I didn't even realize was missing until coming here. And when I first came, I felt a sense of community and warmth that everyone that comes to Masjid At-Tawhid feels. And so I knew this is where I wanted to give back to the communities. The surrounding community is an underserved community. It is a marginalized community. I grew up in the Dallas area, very similar to this community. So I feel at ease. Some people are like, oh my goodness, you're going to Fifth Ward. It's like, no, Fifth Ward is like home. I feel at peace. The same thing when people come in off the streets, they know we don't put on airs. We don't try to make ourselves better than everyone. We know we're all struggling. Even if we've been Muslim 30 years, 50 years, 20 years, we know that we're still learning. And I know people gravitate towards that when they come here. They feel that sense of belonging. The biggest thing I try to do is identify resources in the community that could either help the community at large or the Muslims that we have here. Also getting the word out on what we actually do here at Masjid At-Tawhid. So many people drive by day in, day out, and they don't even understand what we do other than just give away food. So it's my job to try to, highlight the actions, highlight the impacts, highlight all of the benefits that Masjid At-Tawhid gives back to this community. I know growing up, we always had access to recreation centers. We had access to parks. If you look here, this is a food desert. There are very few resources, very few amenities that are in this area. Tawhid provides that. We have a basketball goal. Before Tawhid had that basketball goal, it was not another basketball goal. Tawhid is open 5 times a day at least for prayers, and then on weekends it's also open. So Tawhid is giving the children who live in this area the opportunity to meet people, be in a safe environment. We are your neighbors. We are here. We're committed to the community. We're not just here for the photo op. We're not just here for politicians to give grants and then leave. We're here to actually give back to the community. I would like for more organizations to get together with Tawhid and just help us get block by block this community back to where it needs to be.
According to Councilwoman Tarsha Jackson of District B, where the Fifth Ward is located, says the Fifth Ward community has been overlooked for years and heavily relies on nonprofits to fill in the gaps.
So District B is the historical Black-Brown community. It's a community that has been, a district that has been underserved for decades, not receiving resources from the city, the county, and so, and it's also the district that I was born and raised in. In District B, you have approximately 27% of households are living below poverty line. And so, and this is out of a number of 250,000 households throughout my district. When I met Brother Khan and visited the mosque, it was when I was first running for office. There was so many people there getting variety of services, whether it was clothes, food, they was doing other outreach. You had games for the kids. What I really love about them is that they're just proactive. They don't wait for the city or, the government to ask them to do anything. They just get out and do it. And so the majority of the city budget goes to these small upkeep. So having nonprofit organizations that are filling in the gap, it's needed across the district. We take on 5 challenges: workforce development, public safety, capacity building for nonprofit organizations in our faith base, which we have a huge faith-based alliance. So whenever they're needed, they show up, and vice versa. And so it's just been a great working partnership. And also in addressing the number one issue within the district, and that is poverty, making sure that our folks have the resources that they need to be productive. I'm excited to hear that the mosque will be expanding because, again, we are one of the hardest hit districts when it comes down to, workforce development, illegal dumping, crime. So we need all the partners that we can get to, mitigate some of these issues within our communities. There's a passion, there's a commitment to community, and we just grateful and lucky to have them as part of the District B family.
Tawhid's network includes working with other religious organizations like COCO, headed by Reverend James Caldwell, who says regardless of any religious affiliation, repairing the Fifth Ward requires collective participation.
I'm a product of the community that basically I serve. I went to elementary school here, middle school, and high school. And I'm one of 7, the second oldest. And It wasn't easy, for my parents, 7 kids and trying to make sure that there was food on the table. I grew up in this community. It used to be vibrant and alive, and it was a community. I knew everybody that stayed on my street, and the next streets, and every street around, because we all grew up together. And my parents knew their parents. Well, let's put it in simple terms. I thought everybody lived the way we did. I did not know that there was another side or a different way of life. I didn't know and was unaware of all of the dangers and issues that were impacted and affecting our communities from an economic perspective, from an income equality perspective, healthcare, housing, environmental, totally unaware. That community, that village, it's being divided, it's being separated. We have gentrification that's taking place in our community and trying to address the air quality issues, the environmental issues, the healthcare issues, all of the above. Irregardless of what I do, what Iman does, or what have you, or whomever, unless the community has the knowledge and the resources to be able to improve, and that has to come from them. It has to come from the community. But there's an obligation for us to inform and to educate them on what the next steps are. In regard to Fifth Ward itself, as well as other communities, our motto basically is, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. We want to get our communities, all communities, beginning with Fifth Ward and other communities, to have that seat at the table to make their decisions and choices for themselves, but we have to be willing to educate them. It's not a religious thing. It's a spiritual thing. Now, we say 11 o'clock service, Wednesday Bible study, and that's structured. When you think in terms of the spiritual concept, you get out of that structure and you begin to address a need and concern that exists within the community. When I met my brother, when he first came into the community, his heart, his passion, his willingness to work with whomever, whatever, in order to address the need that you see. It existed. He saw it. He understood it, and that there needed to be certain things put in place in order to address it. And anything that I can do for my brother, and he knows that, that we're capable of working together with, then yeah, let's do it. Because it's not about me. It's not about us. It's about our communities.
What Masjid At-Tawhid has been able to achieve in under 10 years reflects the true need in the Fifth Ward. However, Qasim says the growth requires major support to continue on. Tawhid has plans to instate a community plaza with the design to create stability to the surrounding area.
The growth to me is amazing. I haven't failed to be astonished over how it's grown, and mainly because of our niyyah, our intention. Our intention was really to serve the people. We were once giving away a few meals out of the trunk of her car, and then we got one food truck, and it grew to like 100 meals. Now we have a fleet of 12 vehicles, and all of them for community services in every different stage of community service. Furniture, clothing, household items, disaster items, prepared meals, as well as non-perishable items. A complete and comprehensive community service. Hussaina is surrounded with a very strong group of Muslim women that are very energetic and very dedicated and very committed. Then we have the volunteer men. Some of them you saw when you was coming in. They go with her. They meet her at the supply stores and pick up the groceries and so forth, to unload the trucks. And we go, and they go with us to deliver the trucks and so forth. Now we have a reputation for utilizing donation funds. We were blessed because it's a family of donors, the Kareem family. They acquired the property right next to the masjid. It's about an acre, almost the size of this property here. And I always had the vision that if we got that property, what we would do with it, to enhance the community and to embellish the progress of the community, and so that everybody benefits. One of the things that we're going to do is we always had a vision to build and produce a dawah theater for Islamic Dawah Productions, but also a reentry facility for mainly the men who are getting out of prison. A great percentage of the Muslim men who frequent this masjid came from the prison, which means that they went to prison for some crime, they repented, they accepted Islam, and they're coming out as productive citizens. But they need to be shown that there's hope for them, that someone cares about them, because it's rough when they first get out, because they're stigmatized. So we're going to build a beautiful state-of-the-art reentry facility. Then we have a halal a meat and grocery market. We're going to build that as well. Then we have a daycare center, or we're going to build a daycare center on that same property for the people who have to work full time, so they have a good, safe place for their children to be cared for while they're working. All this commercial is going to be on the first floor. The second, third, and fourth floor will be apartments, residential apartments for the people who want to live close to the masjid. And all of this will be income producing, so that we can be more independent, so that we don't have to always be asking for funds. But that's the vision. And we're going to call it Tawhid Town Plaza. Because we're going to be multi-use, and we have most of the blueprints in place, and we expect to begin to start building sometime between now and the next 8 or 9 months. But we need funding. We need funds. We need the project. If we want to do a basic simple project, basic simple will be around $4 million. To make it the way that I really envision it, we need about $6 or $7 million to do it, to make it state-of-the-art, everything state-of-the-art, with the elevators, and make it easy for the handicapped people to get up to their apartments and so forth, and the parking and so forth. I have faith that we'll get it if the people, because of the fact we have a track record for progress. But everyone, the whole world is talking about this masjid now, that we've been able to do it miraculously. When we opened this masjid, we had $130.63 in the bank. But yet it's grown to a $1.5 million piece of real estate. The main message I would like for the people to understand is never give up on something because of the way it appears. And always realize that if you're doing something that somebody else will benefit from, you'll be successful with it. Because that's our premise. It's not for our own self, but I want the people to understand that no matter what it is, no matter what they have at their disposal, if it's not money, it's time. If they don't have time, they could at least raise up a prayer, lift up a prayer that would be successful, that everyone will benefit. And number two is that we're doing this not just for this generation now, not even for the children coming after, but for the generations yet unborn. That we want to stabilize this community and for the potential that we see. We see the potential of this being a peaceful community where people can live in harmony and have a stronger sense of peaceful coexistence, but don't give up on that just because there's some criminals out there, or there's some immoral people out there, or there's some dishonest people. Don't give up, because as long as you see people like us, there's more of us. We're not that unique. We may be unique to this area for now, but there's more of good people out there, and if the good people stand up to do something about what they see to correct it, then everyone will benefit. Come up here to give them hot meals. We actually knock on the doors and take what they need to them, but so they're used to that. So they're waiting for us. They recognize our trucks. And some of the sad things that happen sometimes, there's certain houses where there might be 5 or 6 kids and 5 or 6 different fathers, and the children are out in the middle of the street and they say, "Mommy, we get to eat today. The Muslims are here." So lets us know that sometimes they don't even get a really good meal until we bring them some food.
If there's anyone watching this documentary for the first time learning about them and their efforts, what's one thing you'd like those people to know?
That any contributions that you make to them will definitely be going back into the community for the good of the people in the community. And I'm just waiting for them to do their affordable housing stuff, and I'll be right there. Our community, City of Houston, benefits greatly from the love that they are showing and the leadership that they are showing when they're reaching out to the least of these, my children, and helping them.
It's going to be amazing. It's filling additional needs for our brothers who have served their time in incarceration, who want to give back to society, who want that integration. Tawhid's going to be able to provide that. Tawhid will be like an oasis in this area to let people know it's safe to come to Fifth Ward. Fifth Ward is deserving of your time, effort, talents, and treasures. So Tawhid is that jewel of the crown that this community actually needs.
Put your hands together, everybody. Put your hands together, everybody. We want to welcome to the stage our brother, yours, Jamal, let me get his name right, Asafi, Esquire, attorney. What's going on, love? Come on out. Hey, brother Eric, you got the NOI starter kit, look.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المرسلين لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. I don't really have a lot prepared for today, but I do want to extend gratitude to Imam Qasim, to Masjid At-Tawhid, the staff of Masjid At-Tawhid, Sister Hassania, and many of the volunteers of Masjid At-Tawhid. When looking at this movie and this documentary, what stuck with me the most was, Mommy, we get to eat, the Muslims are coming. I want you to understand that concept, that there's no reason to bring the da'wah of Islam if your children are hungry. So when the staff of Masjid At-Tawhid and the people of Masjid At-Tawhid go to every one of these places to feed them, let that resonate, that they're feeding these children that are not finding food anywhere else. Those vans, from one van to 216, that's the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the blessing of the community. I remember me and the Imam were in the war room with a lot of unscrupulous contractors trying to rip off the masjid. Not under my watch. We were not going to have any of this nonsense with folks trying to rip off a community or even a masjid that wants to help the community. So whatever small, insignificant part you think you're giving to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is huge. Even when the Imam is saying, let the dua be the first thing. And I want an exercise of each and every one of you, whether you're Muslim or even non-Muslim, that you see the success of Masjid At-Tawhid for many more generations to come. And the most important thing is that even with the small amount or the huge amount, it is, in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's a continuation of charity. In the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is that you never give to decrease, you give to increase. It's a foreign concept with a lot of other different people. They say, well, if I'm giving you $100, that means it's a minus out of me. Not with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your $100 is multiplied immensely because everything is a niyyah. And if you see in the 10-year time and in the video that you've seen, it is all by the hard work and dedication of many of the people in this room. Alhamdulillah, all praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that many of you here that have made this a reality is to give credit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first and foremost, and to also give credit to the people in this room. That alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, that people that are working towards the good of this community. You saw the Hirsch Road, the City Gas, the Lay Road, you saw those areas become basically overnight where more and more people want to come in and they want to flourish. Anytime you see a Muslim influence, that community strives. Look at every community where there's a Muslim influence and you see strive, you see success in that community because those blessings are coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm going to cut this short. I just wanted to say that please continue to do every part that you can. Even if it's a 4 a.m. prayer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to see that Masjid At-Tawhid is a continuation for many more sadaqah jariyas, for many more generations to come. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Another hand, everybody, another hand. So we're winding down to the end of the program. A couple things I want you guys to remember. The work, the whole idea of the work that you saw on the screen is something that needs to be talked about. That it's indicative of spirit, of movement, not just, it doesn't happen here in Houston, Imam Qasim. This is the same, have been doing this all over the United States. That's number one. Number two, the thing that they always said is we. They say we, which is indicative of the entire community. Everybody's here, maybe not in the building, but everybody has done something. If you've been out, I've been out on the truck with Imam Qasim when he went in the 5th Ward, and he was standing on the back of the truck, and he was on a microphone, and I was like, dude, you're gonna get shot. It was funny, but it was funny this way because people came and were very, very comfortable with this idea that people saying, the Muslims are coming, the Muslims are coming. It was associated with something that was positive. You guys don't go anywhere. We have one more thing for you. God bless you for coming out. May Allah increase you, be safe on the way home, and anywhere else you're going in life. We appreciate you. Don't move.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Ooh, and just like the river, I've been a-running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Ooh, yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it will. When I go to my Muslim brother, and I said, brother, come on, Akhi, help me, please. Help my masjid, please. But he rise up and knock me right down on my knees. Yeah, there were times that I thought, I wouldn't last too long, but alhamdulillah, Saint stuck in there with me. We've been able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Y'all know the rest of it. Oh, yes, it will. Assalamu alaikum.
Somewhere in a place close by, there's a mother with a child with tears in her eyes. Somewhere else, there's a boy on the street with no food there to eat, and he's trying to survive. Another place, there's a father of 5, but he can't get food 'cause the bombs in the sky. Somewhere else there's a senior now who is all out of food and her car won't drive. But we take this food we're blessed with and we throw it half away. We see there's so much wasted that can help so much today. Cause I know we take for granted a warm meal and a cup to drink. Oh, this silver plate we're handed. Maybe once we should stop and think that we don't know where the hungry ones have to go. We don't see what the hungry ones have to eat. We don't feel what the hungry ones feeling like. We don't hear when they pray everything's gonna be alright. Be alright, be alright. I'm gonna try to help things be alright. So that mother, she'll beg on the street to get something to eat so her baby won't cry. And the kid, he will search through the garbage of food we discarded just to get by. And the father springs through explosions just to get a loaf and he's praying he won't die. And the senior walks to the shop, yo, for over 10 blocks in the middle of the night. So few have a luxury to have food any kind of way. So many would love to be able to have a meal a day, but we act so wastefully. God knows how our day will end, how honored their place will be. He hears when they pray to him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you so much, and may Allah honor you for taking time to watch this mini documentary as you took a visual journey through this amazing mission of Masjid At-Tawhid here in Houston, Texas. Now, I'm going to ask you to do three things. First, make a dua, which is the most powerful weapon and tool that Allah has given to believers. Make a dua or supplication or prayer for the success of this mission. We come a long way with faith and with prayer. Number two, pass the word to your friends, relatives, and associates and encourage them to support this mission. We need all the support we can get to continue moving forward. And number three, whatever you're able to do from yourself, whatever you're able to contribute will be greatly appreciated, and we pray that you will be blessed and rewarded in this life and the afterlife. Thank you so much. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.